Who did Saruman? Hold on, let me do this correctly. Who did Saruman marry?
Who?
Saruwoman. No. Okay.
No.
Officially. Boo.
What was Frodo at Aragorn and Arwen's wedding?
The ring bearer?
Oh, yeah. I knew this was going to be
Didn't we
there.
discuss the rules of jokes
I
last
knew
time?
that was going to be there.
All right, this one's so stupid I have to say it. How many hobbits does it take to change a light bulb?
None, because they're too short.
Okay, guys. No, it's not too short. It's none. There are no light bulbs in Middle Earth. Okay, all right. These bad jokes are terrible. Let's just get the show started.
It's Whatcha, Watchin. Welcome to Whatcha, Watchin, presented by Geeky, a show where we dive into what's currently on our screens. Big screens or little screens, size matter not here, just the quality or lack of our cues. I'm Chris Nitro. Joining me today in the on-location Go-Go in the beautiful Scotch Plains Scotchwood Diner is Anthony Pizzuto.
Hello, you beautiful people.
And Eric Ho.
Yo.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Excellent. It has been this is like the first official week, I guess, of summer break where like the kids have been home because we ended like a little late.
No, we didn't.
Plainfield did, I feel like.
Plainfield.
Yeah, Plainfield did. You guys didn't.
Yeah.
Up in the fancy heights.
Yep.
But us,
In the mountains.
slumming it in Plainfield because of our ridiculous school calendar, crooked calendar. We had a week of like half days, which was our last week.
Oh.
Yeah, it was so stupid.
Were they trying to make up for some days or
Yeah,
something?
they were making up for their stupid professional development calendar, which is like a half day every month.
Why can't you just combine that?
Because we have stupid people running the show over there. Anyway, so last week was the first official week, and camp hasn't started yet. So the kids have been home all week. My wife, thank God, is a teacher, so she can find ways to keep them entertained and active. So they went to different things, like they went hiking, and they went to Wonderland. Land of Imagination.
Okay.
What is that?
It's upstate.
Thanks.
Yeah. In Hope, New Jersey. I've never been there. It's about an hour northwest of us, and it's specifically an amusement park made for kids like under 10. So like all the rides are like made for like little kids. It's not for big kids. Mm-hmm. And so they did that for the day. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, we're looking forward for camp to start because I work from home. Lyra is going to a kind of outdoorsy camp where she's going to like spend a lot of time outside and learn about nature and animals and wildlife and all that good stuff.
Nice.
And then Rain will be at his preschool, which also has a summer camp. And so they'll go like do swim club and stuff like that, which will be interesting because my son, Rain, is mortified of swimming. So I'm hoping that this will kind of break him of that.
He's going to see all these other kids doing it.
Exactly. Because right now it's interesting because like we'll get into our pool and he'll splash around a little bit, but as soon as Lyra gets in and she is a beast in the pool, like it just freaks him out. Like he does not like getting splashed or anything. So yeah, I'm hoping that him seeing like his friends.
We should have you over and
Yes.
jump into kids with a fan.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So, but yeah, other than that, not doing much traveling in the next couple of weeks. So it's nice to be home and taking care of projects around the house. How about you, Eric? What have you been up to?
Yesterday was July 4th.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes.
Happy birthday, America.
I forgot to watch Independence Day. I might need to remedy that today. Not watching. What you didn't watch. Anyway, so lots of cooking, lots of grilling. Mm-hmm. Broke out the griddle again yesterday. And
Nice. What'd you griddle?
burgers.
Mm.
I did a hot dog on the side of my green egg. I cooked some corn.
Nice. Thanks for the invite. Sarcasm.
So hold on. Is the green egg your primary grill, and then you have the griddle next to it, or do you also have like another like
Depends on the
4
situation.
or 5 burner? Do you have like a kitchen outside?
At this point, it might as well be an
okay.
outdoor
All right.
kitchen.
Can you build him a sink? I know you're good at
I'm
that.
building the sink right now, so we can.
I feel
work
like
off
I
of
need
mine.
Run a line from Chris's house to your house.
Yeah, do some prep over there before we'll bring it over. Then broke that out and then cooked. So it was really nice. And the weather was great. I mean, it wasn't, great as in it wasn't pouring. It was going to rain, and it got delayed all the way until the evening. So, anyway, that's pretty much all I did. That was the highlight of the weird shortened week that we have going on here. What about you, Chris?
Just, typical work week and whatnot. Had to work yesterday. Got home, was exhausted because I was working day shifts all week, so I had no energy to do anything. It was just me and the fam, and nobody came over. We didn't really do anything.
Sure.
So we just, Cat cooked inside, and Cat had bought a bunch of fireworks at Costco some time ago when they were on sale, and just a bunch of ground effect things with like sparkly colors and like, nothing that really reports up into the sky. But we got rid of all that. Kids had fun watching them and whatnot. Neighbors came over. They had a little girl too. So pretty uneventful July 4th.
Can I pause on something?
Sure.
Is this like an FCC thing that it reports up into the sky?
No, that's called reporting. Like when something shoots up into the sky, it's called reporting.
I had no. Did you know this?
Nope.
Okay. So is that like common knowledge, or is this because you like run the world from your giant tower up there?
No, it's like
reports into this, or is it a military
it's a
thing?
military
Oh,
thing,
okay, yeah. Yes. Thank you for your service, by the way.
or maybe not even maybe the industry thing. Maybe the fireworks industry says that.
Oh,
I have no idea.
But that's I like that.
Yeah, because
turn of phrase.
Technically, you're not shooting.
Yeah.
Right? It's reserved for firearms and stuff like that.
Oh.
So, it's not blasting off. That's like NASA stuff.
That's right.
So maybe that is the term.
I'm going to start using that term.
Yeah.
You have to go to dictionary.com and figure that out for real.
As I reported Anthony across the room.
Aren't you all glad you just followed this show? All the knowledge you're gaining? Leave us a review. Make sure you rate the show.
Thesaurus over here.
So, uneventful.
Yeah?
Nothing really else to report.
Not working on any projects?
I mean, like I said, we ordered all the parts for the sink.
Yeah.
The outdoor sink that we're trying to do. I was looking for, surprisingly enough, like a stainless steel sink that has like a pretty deep basin and has like a end table to it or something like that. Like I've seen them before, but everything that I find, unless you're spending north of like $800, $1,000, which you're getting restaurant quality stuff, I'm like, I don't really need this for my backyard.
Right. You're not Erico.
Right.
Yeah.
All the basins are like tiny, like 15 by 15 inch sinks, and I'm like Eric, I'm sure Eric has this problem too, is like when you want to clean grates off of your barbecue,
the worst.
You're like doing this, and then you're doing that, and then I want something that goes in the sink.
Gotcha.
So I found a solution where I got a standalone, like, big sink, a deep sink, and then like I got a kind of like a stainless steel end table to put next to it.
Very nice.
Which in hindsight is like actually might be a better thing, because then we could always move the table around where we need.
You can find commercial sized ones?
They're really, really expensive, right? So like I said, I found something. I think altogether the project is going to cost me less than $500, which is what I was trying to do, right? So 2 pieces with all the plumbing and all that stuff, less than $500 versus the $1,000+ for like a custom thing.
Yeah.
By, whatever company.
Made by AP.
Right.
Made by AP. So I can make my own things.
So that's pretty much it.
Nice, man.
Let's head right into what you're watching.
Sure.
As everyone knows, the last few weeks we've been discussing, doing episode recaps of the Acolyte. So Anthony, why don't you kick us off on the episode 6?
Well, thank you, Chris Nitro Chris. Acolyte episode 6, titled Teach Corrupt, hit the air this past Tuesday, July 2nd. And again, this is a direct connect to episode 5. No time has passed, we're just picking up where we left off. As always, there are spoilers ahead, so if it's not your bag, then jump ahead about 10 or so minutes to the normal What You Watchin' episode. All right, episode 5 ended with Qimir lurking over a confused Osha and Mae heading off with a confused soul. Episode 6 is kind of a split screen, in essence, showing Osha battling her inner dark side under the dreamy convictions of Qimir. Come on. Oh, yeah. Those arms. Thirst
trap Qimir this episode.
All right. So while Mae is trying to pull the wool over Saul's eyes, trying to get him to reveal to the audience what actually happened on Brendok that led Mae on her Jedi murder spree. More like the most boring tennis match where we watch the ball go slowly back and forth over the net without a lot of ughs and ahs. This was a bit of a slowdown episode coming off the wild lightsaber battle of episode 5. So instead of doing a full kind of play-by-play recap and putting you all to sleep, I just want to toss it over to the group, mostly because I'm lazy and I didn't write the full recap, but also because I think there's a lot to talk about within this episode. So my first question, after seeing this episode, and again, there might be spoilers ahead, so jump ahead if you'd like. We see the dyad, that is Osha and Mae, and the dyad is a term that was kind of presented to us in Rise of Skywalker, which is two Force users who are so strong in connection they can connect to each other over light years of space and time. We start seeing this flip between Osha.
Yeah, you noticed that too, huh?
Yeah, right. So Osha is spending time with Qimir, and he is in his zaddy glory, playing it very cool with her. And
You gonna join me?
yeah, exactly. That's exactly the kind of vibe that you get. Because, like, look, he knows Mae is lost at this point because Mae kind of threw him under the bus, but she still has her vendetta against the Jedi.
Hey, whose clothes were those, by the way? Are those Mae's clothes that Osha ended up finding?
Oh, that's interesting. A little technical
I
glitch
would
there.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Because with like the knife too.
and they both had the same knife, and they both pulled the knife out on the person that they were tracking. So again, that kind of dyadic,
That's
dyadic
cool.
thing. But do we think? So we have 2 episodes left. It's only 8 episodes. We're on episode 6. Do you think at this point we're going to see a second season because there's more story to tell? Are they going to wrap it up? And in either case, do you think that we're going to see Osha move to be Qimir's acolyte? Do you think that's what they're setting us up for? Or is this kind of misdirection from our friends at Disney?
So for your more seasons question, I don't know, right? The review bombing, I would hope that Lucasfilm and Disney can see past the review bombing.
They did start talking about how like the streaming data is showing this is like the second most streamed, I think, show.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
great.
For them, I think. Something like that. I may be making things up. But
So numbers don't lie, right?
Yeah.
We know people that do that in the industry. So I hope they, like I said, I hope they see past it, and I'm sure they do. But we've seen fantastic shows just get canceled for budgetary reasons. We've seen, just like maybe talent disagreements, whatever the case might be. So I will personally not say definitively there will be a season 2. I think they can set up a season 2, and they have already, in my opinion. Given that, what do we have, 2 episodes left? So 8 episodes. So we're on 6. I don't think they could finish the storyline in 2 episodes,
Yeah.
right? They could put somewhat of a cap on it,
Yeah.
right, to just round it out, which I'm sure they did already because obviously those things are already filmed. But in terms of wanting to continue it, who knows, right? We've seen more successful shows get canned
Sure.
than this. For the whole, what was the second question again? Remind us.
Will Osha turn to the dark side and be Qimir's new acolyte?
I think the door's open for that. What we see in this episode is the curiosity. We've already seen her kind of make a decision and say, you know what, I'm walking away from all of this. So the putting on of the helmet is just like, well, what is it like in there? Like, he did say this, I put this on to get away from
Yeah.
the outside world or whatever. So maybe she's like, you know what, I need time to myself.
Sure.
To make some decisions. So that's how the episode ends. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? What do you think, Eric?
Yeah.
I have zero clue.
Yeah. No.
I feel like if they do like a second season, it might be on other stories rather than continuing this story itself.
Sure.
Possibly. And maybe they can do one of those Mandalorian thing where in the end it becomes like a Mandoverse situation.
Sure.
But I don't know. I actually do think that they're going to be able to wrap things up in the next 2. I feel like this show has actually been fairly fast paced.
To that point, like most of these episodes are in that when you look at the runtime, removing everything else, they're like 25 to
Yeah.
maybe 28 minutes. This could have been a movie, and to be honest with you, it probably would have been better as a movie because it's been just such a. I mean, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it, but it's been a slow rise. You had your climax in episode 5. Now we're kind of doing the build up to a potential second season. But like with the runtimes so short and only 8 episodes, there was no reason this couldn't have been.
But here's the thing,
a
though.
feature.
Here's the thing, though. I was thinking about this on the drive here. We haven't had this much guessing game that we've had for like a show in a while. Like Ahsoka, Endor, like all those are following like a, I think fairly. I don't want to say predictable, but like there's a storyline you can kind of follow along. Whereas this one, I feel like every week we're kind of like, what do you think? Like,
Yeah.
and that comes with like a show status versus like a movie situation.
That's fair.
To your point, all those other shows, they have to fit in the timeline, right? There's only so much they could do. Granted, like
Like what happened at the end of Rogue One?
we got Rogue One out of one sentence,
Yeah.
right? Like literally a sentence was written, and now we got an entire movie out of it. So yes, but even so, there's still that constraint of like we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't go into these other things. Where the Acolyte is literally the sky's the limit because it's 100 years, nothing has been written.
Yeah.
It's after the High Republic.
Yeah.
It's before the Phantom Menace. Like so. I mean, to Eric's point, I think there is plenty of room for a different type of storyline in the same time frame.
Yeah.
Everything remains to be seen.
Love that. And I'm hoping, I really hope that either Qimir or Osha or Mae are Plagueis. And I hope we get to see a young 20-year-old, 25-year-old Palpatine who's starting out his political career. Obviously you're going to have to fast forward because this takes place 20 years before Palpatine's even born. But it'd be fun to kind of see that, or maybe not, just see. But we had that. To your point about Rogue One, it was about one sentence in the crawl. Plagueis is literally 1 minute and a half story in
Opera House.
the opera. What was the
Senate? The
The Attack of the Clones?
Not Attack of the Clones. The third one, Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
And with such a success with Rogue One, now Andor, it would be really interesting to make start telling the Plagueis story.
I don't think I don't think they're gonna do that.
You don't think so?
I think this is all misdirection because they want the fans to start thinking about Plagueis and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Very loudly we've heard people say we want
Yeah.
that timeline. We want the old Republic brought back.
Yeah.
I just don't think this is it because I get the sense that, especially this episode,
Yeah.
I'm beginning to get the sense that he's not exactly a Sith.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't think he's a Sith.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those like kind of like in Harry Potter, like kid who wander into like the forbidden library, like whatever part of the library, and learn about it,
Oh, interesting.
and just go like, you know what, I want to be that,
Okay.
and I like that philosophy, and I'm gonna go for it, but not in the traditional sense of
Being taught.
he had a right, like the rule 2 of like there's actually maybe Plagueis is actually doing something else elsewhere,
Yeah.
and this just happened to be another person who is a quote unquote one of those what's the guy? One of the guy who's like Maul was like a fallen Jedi.
Yeah.
I think that might be it.
That's interesting. That's a
Like
very
it really could be because all the fans are like setting themselves up to like, oh, this is the origin story of Plagueis, and
right.
I don't think they're gonna go there.
I gotcha.
I think I disagree a little bit in that there's a tiny bit of a spoiler, if my thought process is correct, right? That hinges on that. We see him heal
Yep.
Mae, right? Or was it Osha?
Osha.
He heals Osha, right? So we have the whole story about Darth Plagueis the Wise and blah blah blah, bringing people back from the dead. So it's like, is this the very early on where like he's learning to mess with lives? Like
Yeah,
we saw
but force
Rey.
healing is not a new concept,
It's not a new concept in that we saw it in Rey.
right?
it's a new concept, and now it's before Rey's timeline.
Yeah, but Rey wasn't a Sith.
Right, but that's so that's what I'm getting at is like he learns to do basic healing, and then like do we get back to he brings people back from the dead?
But wasn't the dyad part of the need to go for the force healing? Like, isn't that because of Rey and Kylo Ren's connection? They were strong enough to be able to do force healing. Because, like, Luke didn't have it.
It's that kiss, you know.
It's that kiss.
Well, I mean, you have that the other way. When
They were healing to that kiss.
That way, yeah.
Kylo brings
Sexual
Rey back
healing.
to life.
I thought Rey brought Kylo back to life on the Death Star.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You blocked it out. You blocked it out.
Yeah.
You guys
he died, and then she.
It was like the only good scene in that movie.
What?
No, that's not true. All the Sith
That's so not
troopers
true.
battling and then the
Yeah.
space horses. Come on.
That
Space horse,
that
man.
moment on the Death Star on the other Endor moon, where Han Solo appears. Oh, talking to Kylo Ren, such a good. That's like the best scene in the entire thing.
Anyway,
Sorry. So
that was my point. Is that like to your points about like, oh, he's just learning. You know, he read it in a book somewhere and he's practicing all this stuff. Maybe he gets to the point where like he can transfer force and
Yeah,
life and all
but
that
that's what I'm
stuff.
saying. But like in Legends, if we go down this Legends route, like
we can. They've been bringing lots of stuff from.
Plagueis had a master.
Yep.
Okay.
So you think he's discovered some knowledge and he's trying to bring it to life?
Correct.
I think he had a master, and he was the apprentice.
He had a Sith master.
He had a Sith master. He was the apprentice. He's taken out his master, and now he's looking for his. Because you need the two. You need the master or the one with the power and someone to crave the power.
I do think that he dropped a line that I thought was very interesting. He said he's been alive for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, he didn't say that, but he's saying that he was a Jedi long, long ago.
Okay.
So I think at this point he's already mastered some arts where he can live for a long
Prolonged
time.
periods of time.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks human, right? But we don't know that he's human.
Correct.
I mean, look at Vernestra, right? How old is she now at this point?
Well, she's humanoid,
Right.
right?
Right.
I think you hit something there. You have a point. Yeah.
We're not racist by calling him human, unlike this guy over here.
Oh my god. All right. So moving on. So I'll just talk about Kylo Ren though. The last two episodes at the very end, at least at the end before going into the credits of episode 5, they played a little bit of Kylo Ren's theme song.
Did they?
They did, yes. And then in the credits of episode 6, they played a little bit of the Kylo Ren theme song as well. Seeing the design of Qimir's helmet and costume in general, and the speculation that he might not necessarily be Sith, do you think this could be the start of the Knights of Ren? Talking about misdirection, we're all thinking it's a Sith thing.
Interesting.
Maybe it's not a Sith thing. Maybe it's a Knights of Ren thing.
Well,
we know
yeah.
nothing about them, really.
Yeah, well, they introduced him and then immediately nerfed him.
Exactly. So maybe they're trying to nerf the nerf.
Maybe. That's cool.
Could be interesting. I mean, you know, the music of the saga has been very purposeful.
Which, by the way, is that why he's called Kylo Ren? I don't know why he's called Kylo Ren.
Do we know the names of the other ones? Are they all Wrens as well? Like Bobby Wren?
I think they're in like an encyclopedia somewhere, but I don't know
Yeah,
for sure.
okay. Tommy Wren, Ralph Wren.
They're all boy band.
Lol Ren.
Lolo Wren. So that could be an interesting kind of
Helen May
pivot.
Ren.
Oh my god.
You know, but
One thing I did want to mention, right, and I mentioned it last episode. I was sure that Saul knew.
Yeah.
Then we saw very weird behavior for a Jedi. He hugged her,
Yeah.
right? So I think he was messing with her the entire time, pretending like he didn't know. And then he's doing all these weird things, and she's like,
or is he just an
"What's
emotional
going on?"
dude?
Or a terrible actor.
No.
No, I think it's pretty good.
I think it was all
Yeah.
purposeful. I think like he was messing with her the entire time she was on the ship. He knew that she was like walking up on him to like stab him in
Yeah.
the back or whatever. Like he knew all that stuff was going on. He was just
Yeah.
testing her to see how far she would to reveal herself.
Do you think? So that's the thing, right? Like, he did some few things that are very unexplainable this episode, behavior-wise. So like the hug caught me by thing too. And I just go, it's just like an emotional dude. And then this whole like, when they say, "Hey, we're coming to get you," he shut off his transmitter. And I don't know, there's something going on over here that's a little strange, which leads to the thing I was telling you about.
Right.
I think it's so weird that when Vernestra and those Jedi landed on Kofar, and he's like, "Oh, a powerful Jedi must have done this." Like, she didn't dispute it at all. Like, it's almost like she wants us to think that he's the bad guy. Like, there's something weird about how they're positioning Soul. I hope that we finally get to hear the full story, because he's been trying to tell the story for 6 episodes at this point.
Right.
It might be an M. Night Shyamalan thing at the end where we get to episode 8 and then he just starts like, and this, and this, and this,
Yeah.
and this, and everyone's like, oh,
Right.
it was right in front of our faces the whole time.
I think we
I
should,
see dead people all the time.
everyone's been dead this entire series. It's all in Kylo Ren's
I will
imagination.
say, though, I was talking to Pizzuto about this when we were walking in. I have a whole theory about the true villain of this entire show. And it is not Soul. It is not Qimir. It is Vernestra.
It's a possibility.
Like, point being, she has had so little, like, scenes, really. But yet it's somewhat important throughout. She's kind of weird. Like this episode really threw me onto this trail because, like, she's been too weird about this whole situation. Like, she intentionally sent him there. She, this is just all this whole thing of like something's off with this person. And then my theory was, they showed her whip, and then Qimir's back. My theory, this is getting into like tinfoil hat theory now. Qimir was Vernestra's Padawan
Yeah.
years ago, and actually, because the whole night I couldn't get the math right, but maybe he's figured out this whole longevity thing. Like, maybe he knew Soul as a Padawan,
Okay.
and when he keeps talking about a master tossing him aside, it's Vernestra who tossed him aside,
Right.
and she's trying to do a cover up.
Possibly, yeah.
And maybe, the more that we're going down this road, maybe Soul is cut off the transmission because he knew she's bad. And he's like, we gotta, like, I can't have her be here. And that's why he, like, zoomed away right away.
Right.
All right. Tinfoil hat theory. We're never going to get to what you're watching, by the way.
Yeah.
You just made me think of something. So I'm with you that one of them has been his master at one point. He's been around for a long time. And in episode 4, he almost makes you think that Soul was his master. But Soul doesn't recognize him.
Yeah.
Fast forwarding back into the Disneyverse, episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. Palpatine wants to transfer himself, his spirit, into Rey to be the next empress of the Empire. Is it possible that Plagueis, or whomever he is, this body that he's in, this perfect body,
It's so good.
so good, is actually just a vessel for a force that's been around for a long time?
I think that's too much for a TV show.
Yeah, you think so? Okay,
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
too much for a TV show.
Should we bet $5 on it?
It's gonna be the same $5 that
It's
goes
gonna
back
be
and forth.
But no, there's some interesting tinfoil hat theories here.
I just feel like I have to say, like, of all the episodes, this episode, even though it's like a slower episode,
Yeah.
like, stressed me out a little bit. Because the way they keep jumping between like the different things, I'm sitting here like, what does any of this mean? Like,
Yeah, right.
what's happening here?
Yeah, there was a lot of head scratching in this episode, trying to figure out what's up. I can't wait till they all come out, and then I'm going to watch them again, just back to back to back to back.
I mean,
Any tinfoil hat theories?
No.
they have to get to a recap somehow.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Like next episode, right?
and that's what I said. It might be
Yeah.
in episode 8. We might have an M Night Shyamalan experience where it's like, oh crap, oh wow.
Do they have the episode length for these the upcoming episodes?
Let's see.
Oh, we're looking
I
that
was,
up.
I was trying to look it up. I couldn't find
The
it.
one thing I don't understand is like, I did see a couple of people knock the lightsaber with. I'm like, who cares? We're talking about like,
People complain about
See,
everything.
this is why I'm not on social media. Who cares?
All it says is running time 35 to 43 minutes.
It doesn't work.
Runtime for episodes 1 through 4. Oh, here we go. The runtimes for each episode and how many are there. So episodes 1 through 4 were 41 minutes.
I just went forward though.
no, that's not true.
Well, 36, 42.
The finale of Book of Boba Fett was 62 minutes long. But I wonder if that
Maybe they want a
includes...
longer finale.
Maybe. But I wonder if that includes, like, the credits of these series are also, like, because they also have, like, the entire credits for the foreign language versions.
Ah, yes.
So it, like, doubles
I
and
don't
triples
count,
the
I don't
time.
count that stuff. 'Cause usually like the
But no,
background goes away and the font changes.
No, but in the actual
The timeline,
runtime, yeah, it says 30...
I don't know. You're an actor. You tell us. Does that count as a runtime?
No, not that junk at the back, but the actual runtime.
What you see on the bar on the bottom
Is like-
includes that credit. Those
Yeah,
credits.
exactly, and so that's like 37 minutes. But the actual runtime. Oh, yes, it does. Yeah. So like if a movie says it's an hour and 34 minutes,
includes-
that's from the overture to the end of the credits. Yeah. So the actual playtime of the content could be, if it's an hour and 34 minutes, I'm saying that because what you're watching is an hour and 34 minutes. You know, the actual film itself is probably
Thank you.
20
Have a
minutes,
nice weekend.
depending on the length of it. So, anyway, where was it? Oh, God.
Wait.
Damn, it's gone.
Did you find it?
Oh, we were talking about all the
I grabbed it
runtimes
for you. I
together.
grabbed it for you.
Anyway, I forget. What are your tin hat theories on the Acolyte? Let us know at mailbag@geekyagogo.com, and we will reveal them on an upcoming episode.
We're gonna find out in a few days. So
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like this show has been like guessingable.
Yes, it has
worthy,
been, yes.
guessing worthy. Like,
It's wonderful. If you want to continue the conversation, well, join our Patreon at patreon.com/geekyagogo, and you can hop into our Discord and nerd out all day long on theories, recaps, spoilers, whatever you'd like about the Acolyte.
Over there.
All right. You want to take us home, Nitro?
Sure. I know.
I'll take us out. Do you want more Geeky A Go-Go? Well, make sure you're following us on all the socials at Geeky A Go-Go and share with us what you're watching. Want cool stuff? Want to connect with us on a higher level, like on our Discord channel? Head on over to patreon.com/geekyagogo and support the show. You'll get awesome swag and other perks. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're following the show on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review. Thanks so much for listening. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Baboo, bye.